Hiya crafters, Amy here, and I have a new layered stencil card to share, and as a bonus, you can use up some pattern paper in the process. So this is the new layered vine stencil from A Colorful Life Designs. It's part of the May release, and there's tons of gorgeous stencils, so be sure to check it out. And if you use my coupon, AmyFan10, you'll save 10% on your complete order if you shop. So here I'm just kind of figuring out my layout or what I have in mind, what I want to create, but this is ultimately the finished card here. You can see I used some pattern paper and that gorgeous layered stencil. So I have these ink pads. This is the Zen Garden Spa collection from Catherine Pooler, and I'm picking out two of the greens and then this kind of corally color in the purple. And I'm going to use two colors on each layer. But I do have just a piece of cardstock here. I'm actually working on a panel rather than directly on the card base like I often do. But it's an A2 size panel of 110 pound Neenah Classic Crest Solar White. And I'm just coming in with the lighter green first and the darker green just to kind of add some variation in color. But I do have it masked off on the bottom of the panel because I know that I don't want it to cover the entire front. I'm not entirely sure where I'm going to go with for this design. I'm kind of winging it as I go. But now I'm lining up that other second layer, and I found that just kind of lining up the two stencils together made it easiest for me to figure out where the second layer is meant to go on the design. So that was the easiest way for me to do it. And if you're familiar with the stencils from A Colorful Life Designs, Mary Kay does put an etching on the bottom of the stencil, which makes it really easy to determine what layer you're on and to make sure that you're on the right side of the stencil. So now I'm coming in first with this coral color, and then I will come in with that purple color just to kind of add a little bit more depth and gradient to the color on the flowers. But you can see it's just a very subtle, pretty design. This would be great for Mother's Day cards or really anything. It's just always a fun thing when you have layered stencils, and there are tons of those in the shop. So A Colorful Life Designs, if you're not familiar, is a small woman-owned business in Texas, and she has hundreds of stencils to choose from, and the layered collections are oftentimes a lot of my favorites. So be sure to check those out. I will link those as well as all the other products that I used here, like these dies from My Favorite Things. I'll link them all in the video description box below if you expand and scroll down. But I did use some low tack tape here and ran that through my die cutting machine off screen, and here I have some pattern paper. So this is a fun way to kind of use your pattern paper up if you have loads of it like I do. So this one just happened to go really well with the colors that I chose, and I always like to mix florals and stripes. I feel like you can't go wrong with that combo. So I just cut it down to A2 size, and I'm attaching it directly to a card base. This is more of that 110 pound Neenah Classic Crest Solar White. I'm just using some tape runner and attaching that pattern paper directly to the card base. And then I am going to use some really sticky foam tape to pop up this panel. So there is some layering on this card. This is not a single layer, and there is some dimension, but it still isn't too crazy. It should be fine to ship. So I'm using this really sticky foam tape just to kind of pop up this cool die cut stencil panel, and cutting a little thinner piece here because you don't want it to get saggy in transit. Nobody wants saggy in transit. So I'm going to pull off this backer and kind of attach this right to the top of this card base. And then that leaves room on the bottom for a sentiment. So now I'm shopping my sentiment book here, figuring out what will fit in this space, kind of going through my options. I have this Sending Smiles. This is something I recently got from Simon Says Stamp, but sadly that won't fit in the space. Determining whether I want it to be horizontal or vertical orientation, so just kind of flipping through. This is my storage system where I store all my die cut sentiments, so I have them ready to go so that I can batch a bunch of cards at once when I sit down to craft. But ultimately I end up going with this Hooray die cut, and I'm going to run it through my Xyron sticker maker just so I don't have to mess with liquid glue. So this is an option if you have one of these tools. I'm still trying to figure out, I was told about a sandwich where you can run this through your die cutting machine to get rid of the little stray sticky bits that kind of get stuck on there. I'm still working on that, work in progress. I have my picky tool here to kind of clean it up. I did run it through my die cutting machine, but I have yet to find the correct sandwich. So I have a Spellbinders Platinum 6. If you guys know what plates or what kind of sandwich I need to use to run that through to get rid of the little sticky bits on my sticker maker, please let me know, because I'm still trying to figure it out. I did watch the video that was sent to me, but she had a different die cutting machine, so still trying to get that sorted. But here I have some gold glittery blingage. I thought it went really well with the gold cardstock for the hooray, and I'm just using some liquid glue and my jewel picker here to kind of lay it down in odd numbers. I have 3 on one side and 2 on the other, and some I have on that that top piece and some right on the card base. So you can see it just came together quickly. It was an opportunity to use up more of that pattern paper that I have entirely too much of, and use this amazing stencil. So be sure to check out the rest of the May release at A Colorful Life Designs. You won't be disappointed. There's so much prettiness to be had. So let me know in the comments what you like to use pattern paper for, or if you have any ideas that you want to see me try. So I look forward to hearing from you. Have a great day. Thanks for watching. Bye.